Hey guys, I don't care what sport you watch. This is where the best information is. We are analyzing the systemic failures in NFL quarterback development and the strategic impact of extended NCAA eligibility on roster construction.
Year of eligibility in 2026 to play quarterback at Ole Miss. The judge ruled he met the criteria to receive a medical redshirt for a sixth season. The NCAA can still appeal. So, S.A., your thoughts on this for Trinidad?
I want the NCAA to stand down and leave the kid alone. I'm very, very happy with this ruling. Let the kid play. It ain't too many people that's looking to stay in college, these days, particularly with the way the NCAA runs its business. Here's a kid that wants to play college football. We all know that based on the year that he had, where he led the SEC in passing yards, where he threw for 22 touchdowns, ran for 8 more, was the SEC passing leader, got Ole Miss to college football playoffs. They won 2 games there. He put forth a virtuoso performance against Georgia with 362 yards passing. The kid can ball, okay? And college football would benefit immensely to see him on center stage the next season, after the year he just had at Ole Miss, coming from Division II Ferris State, supposedly going to be a backup, and he exceeds expectation. Leave this man alone. Why are you fighting him? Let this man play. He wants to play college football. How many people want to stay in college when you got the NCAA hovering over you with their trifling selves? Leave him alone. Let him play. The judge ruled that he's eligible. You understand, medical red shirt and all of that. Let this man play. Let him have his eligibility. Do not appeal at NCAA. Let him play. It's great for college football. It's a great story, and he's a great talent. Leave him alone. Let him play.
Last year, Trinidad Chambliss finished 8th in the Heisman Trophy voting. A very quality quarterback there. Speaking of quarterbacks, Mel Kiper Jr. released his QB rankings for the 2026 NFL draft class. These rankings are based solely on talent, according to Kiper. Headlining the list is Fernando Mendoza, who is expected to go first overall to the Raiders. Here's Mel on the development, or lack thereof, of quarterbacks.
I don't think they'll ever learn. I think it's so impatient now. It's so much pressure, so much scrutiny. Unrealistic expectations are going to destroy these young quarterbacks every year. And they get destroyed. They move on. They find a home where they're kind of off the radar, like Mayfield was, like Darnold, Daniel Jones. There's going to be more because I don't think this league's going to learn anymore. I really don't. I think this is about immediate return on your investment, immediately play at a high level, regardless if there's great talent around you. It's all on the quarterback. The things I'm hearing about these young quarterbacks and the way they're being scrutinized, to me, in one word, is disgusting.
Disgusting, a strong word from Mel Kiper Jr. We're not even to April yet. Mike Tannenbaum and Dan Graziano joins us here on First Take. What's going on, S.A.?
I'm very, very disappointed.
Mike Tannenbaum and Dan Graziano joins us here on First Take. What's going on, S.A.?
I'm very, very disappointed in Mel Kiper Jr. I'm very disappointed. Dan, good to see you. Mike T, Mr. CIA, what's up, baby? It's good to see you, man. Let me tell you something. I'm very, very disappointed, and I know my man Mel Kiper Jr. is watching somewhere. I'm very disappointed in him, and here's why. The man is next level brilliant when it comes to football. He knows it like the back of his hand, okay? College and pros. And let me tell you something right now. His answer was incomplete. I have no problem with his position. Why don't you say why it's that way? Why don't you point to organizations and the pressure that they put on executives to win now? You understand? They don't give you this grace period. Then, Mike T, y'all know it better than me. The fact of the matter is you apply all this pressure. See, when Mel explained it the way that he explained it, it almost sounded like he was blaming the fans. I'm not saying that's what he was saying. I'm saying it wasn't clear. And Mel Kiper Jr. is usually clear. But he wasn't clear with this particular diatribe, okay? He didn't highlight the fact. It ain't the fans. It's the organizations out there and the pressure you got executives putting on coaches who put it on players because they're saying, wait a minute, we're trying to keep our job more importantly than doing our jobs. That's the real problem. And Mel Kiper did not articulate that message clearly enough. I cannot believe that Stephen A. Smith is sitting on national television and accusing the great Mel Kiper Jr. of not being clear with his answer, but he wasn't.
But let me try to clear things up for Mel Kiper on his behalf. Look, it comes down to organizational mental toughness. And let's go right to the top here. Fernando Mendoza is going to be drafted by the Raiders. There is no way in the world, guys, that they should play him. Geno Smith is under contract. He should start from day one, and here's why. You go back to David Carr when he was a rookie. He was sacked over 70 times. that ruined his career. And you show me a good plan and alignment. Again, 40% of the NFL change head coaches. The teams and the organizations that have organizational alignment, mental toughness are the ones that have sustainability. Green Bay obviously comes to mind when you think about Rodgers and Favre and hopefully now Jordan Love for a decade. So I'll give you the why, Stephen A. The why is owners are running out of patience. And to me, if Fernando Mendoza is going to be as good as we all believe he can be, I think he's a young Matt Ryan. Give him time to develop. There's no reason to rush these guys to play. You know, a recent example was Patrick Mahomes. He sat all but one game behind Alex Smith. How'd that turn out? So to me, Sam Darnold is the most recent example of quarterback development's never in a straight line. Maybe Anthony Richardson's going to benefit from sitting for a year or two behind Daniel Jones. But to me, when we were at the Jets, when you covered us, Stephen A., we drafted Chad Pennington. He sat behind Vinny Testaverde. So I am 100% with you. You do got to win enough games to win for today and develop for tomorrow. So I'm with Mel Kiper, and hopefully that clarifies it for you.
And that's the thing, right? The Chiefs, Alex Smith Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes' rookie year started 5-0, and they stayed in first place all year. It's pretty easy to be patient when that's going on. So that was a good certain. But I think there's a couple points here. One, the contract structure for rookies entering the league forces impatience. The Jets had to make a decision on Sam Darnold after 3 years because they had to decide on the fifth-year option on his contract. They had the second pick in the draft. They decided to pivot to another young quarterback. Obviously, that didn't work out. Joe Burrow enters the league, and he's got the Bengals in the Super Bowl in his second year. He was 23. Darnold was 20 when he was drafted. You have to be honest with yourself as an organization about where you are in your program and what kind of kid you drafted and what his circumstances are. If you're drafting a 20-year-old Sam Darnold, you know you have to be patient. You better have a plan in place similar to what the Packers had with Jordan Love, where they were able to sit him for multiple years, then do something with the contract that reflected that he hadn't proven anything yet. And now they have something that has blossomed. But in Darnold's case with the Jets, they did not have that structure in place. They forced themselves to play him right away, and it didn't work out. By the time the Jets moved on from Sam Darnold, they were correct. Based on what they had seen in 3 years, it was time to move on and try something else. He needed more time to develop. The way the rookie contract structure works in the NFL did not afford them that opportunity.
Can I ask a question really quick? Now with NIL and the way it's structured in college football, it feels like players can stay a little bit longer. Fernando Mendoza is 22, Ty Simpson is 23. Does the extra time in college matter at all, or do you still need extra time at the NFL?
No, Shay, it's a great point. I mean, if you look at the starters for this championship game between Miami and Indiana, and you go back 2 years, the average starter in this game was 2 years older, and at that point in men's life, that's a huge, huge time frame in terms of development. So it's a really good point. And someone like Carson Beck could have gone to the NFL. He gets paid reportedly somewhere between $4 to $6 million by University of Miami, and hopefully that's going to help his development as he transitions. So it's a really good point. And typically, you know, like you go back a generation when quarterbacks would transfer, that was.
The discourse surrounding quarterback development circles back to a fundamental inefficiency in NFL roster construction: the misalignment between draft capital investment and offensive infrastructure. The assessment of the 2026 class, specifically regarding the projected selection of Fernando Mendoza by the Raiders, highlights a recurring systemic failure. Front offices consistently prioritize immediate deployment over developmental stability, ignoring the historical data that correlates early career sack exposure with long-term regression. When analyzing the sit versus start debate, the variables are often reduced to player talent, but the primary determinant of success is the surrounding ecosystem. The reference to the David Carr era, where a rookie absorbed historic sack numbers, illustrates the tactical suicide of placing a young signal caller behind a porous offensive line. A quarterback's processing speed under duress is a learned behavior. Subjecting a rookie to immediate physical punishment creates ghost pressure, permanently altering their pocket mechanics and eye discipline. The strategic risk for any franchise drafting a top-tier prospect like Mendoza lies in repeating this cycle if the protection scheme is not solidified before the quarterback takes the field. The counter model, exemplified by the development arcs in Kansas City and Green Bay, relies on organizational patience, a luxury often unavailable to general managers facing immediate tenure pressure. This brings us to the structural economic constraint inherent in the collective bargaining agreement, the rookie wage scale. The 4-year rookie contract, with a 5th-year option decision mandated after Season 3, artificially compresses the evaluation window. Teams are often forced to pivot not solely based on on-field performance, but on the financial timeline of the salary cap. This economic pressure forces coaching staffs to accelerate tactical installation, often bypassing the fundamental mechanical refinement that traditionally occurs during a developmental redshirt year in the professional ranks. Furthermore, the evolving landscape of NCAA eligibility, illustrated by the Trinidad Chambliss ruling, introduces a new variable, the super senior prospect. With medical redshirts allowing for 6th-year campaigns,